this trip. I want to finish it so badly. I really hope we can still do it. Well, we just got to our access point and we are beyond excited. First big trip of the season, and it's been an adventure already. We almost didn't get in here because of a road closure from a forest fire. We saw a bear, a moose, a wolf, and then another bear with 2 cubs on the way in. Only got footage of the one bear. The others ran off too quick. And these forest roads are always a bit of an adventure. We've got 250 kilometers ahead of us. Things are just getting started here.
I'm just working my way along the first portage to start the trip, and I realized I actually haven't done a portage trip, anything with any serious portages, since before we did Lake Nipigon, which is almost 2 years ago. So we'll see if I still have it in me. We got some portages and some whitewater. It's gonna be an exciting one.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Yeehaw! How are you feeling?
Just wonderful.
Giddy as school kids.
Tickled as a pickle.
Trip's off to a gorgeous start here on Smile Lake, which is a seldom used access point. Got a bit of a paddle across it, and then we're going to try and put a dent in Smile Creek today. And then just find a beautiful spot to set up and ease into the trip. Life is too good right now. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the drive was pretty exciting. First lake was a jewel, so the anticipation just keeps building here. On to the first carry. Just non-stop oohing and awing here into Smile Creek. Second load here is way too much to bring it in one trip. Makes for a more comfortable experience and makes the portages less arduous as well. Carry number 2, short and sweet. Small rapid here that's runnable if Aaron can move a log out of the way. Ready?
Yep.
Okay, so we're hugging the left and then hugging the right.
Right, as you walk past the log.
Yeah. There's barely a line here, but it's pretty low consequence and save us a portage. Just nice and slow here. Okay, hug that rock. We're gonna probably scrape this rock a little. Bounce off the log. Yeah. Good little warm up. And look at this. Oh.
So we're just starting to look for camp. We haven't seen anything yet, but we did find a little bit of snow. Must be the last of what's left.
Yeah, just ahead. Ice just went out here a few days ago in this region. About 30 degrees today though. Well, how about this for Camp 1? What a beauty. And some good tent pads back behind the woods. Oh, some nice ice cold water.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yep, freshly melted.
Yeah, I'm starving now.
Yeah. Excellent.
Okay.
Well, we've got the tent set up and a great camp for the night, and we're gonna get dinner going soon. I made a friend. Only problem is they're poop eaters.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look out for pink guy. Hey, buddy.
Wow. When life's good, it's good. Delicious pierogies, delicious campsite. Aaron's gonna go lie down for a little bit and read, and I'm gonna have a look at the maps. So I've got a bunch of maps in here, but let's start with two. This one's covering the southern end of our route. We'll end here on Savant Lake, which is a giant through here. And today we started heading east down Smy Creek, stopped around there, just about a 7-kilometer dent into the route with our travel day. And tomorrow we hope to put in a good one, heading north up the Flindt River. That's the first leg of the trip, about 250 kilometers in total. So Flindt River is the first leg, then the Ogoki system over here, leg 2. Not for too long in the Ogoki, and then upriver on the Palisade. Should be beautiful. That's sort of the centerpiece of the route. And then upriver on the Savant River system, which is the longest and should be also a beautiful section. Everything east of this line is Wabakimi Provincial Park, one of my absolute favorites. And then to the west side is Crown Land, which is where we're starting on right now, public land. We're off to an ideal start here on day one. I know there are going to be challenges, especially going upriver. But the rewards, I think, are going to be, the juice will be worth the squeeze.
Uh-oh. Bee in the tent.
Uh-oh.
Out you go.
Here, I'll open this.
Come on, buddy.
Got him.
There you go.
Yes.
Like it.
Getting to bed here. We'll be up first thing. Got to put in a big day tomorrow.
We decided to bring some cabbage on this trip. We brought a head of it to give us some fresh vegetables early on. So I'm going to cut some up and we're going to add it to our burritos this morning.
Those are about to go in here. Good hearty breakfast.
If our bag's 69, then the straps balance out.
Classy. 7 o'clock and we are heading out.
Yeah, we are.
Put in a good day.
Miles over smiles. Hopefully both.
Both. Miles and smiles. So in an hour or two we'll be inside Wabakimi. That'll be Aaron's first time.
Yeah.
How you feeling? What are your hopes and dreams?
This.
Yeah, more of this?
More of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm excited. It's hard to believe I grew up so close to it and haven't been yet, so it's overdue.
Yeah. 2 more carries on Smy Creek and then we'll be into Wilkie. Smy Creek, Gorjo. Aaron's having a look here.
Distinctly traily.
No? Found the next trail beside that big root mat, and it's short and sweet again. Another pretty little paddle and we're on to the next trail. Trails aren't marked here, so usually that means a bit of trail finding, but it's part of the adventure. It's fun. and we're hoping to put in a good day, but that might only be 20 kilometers and change with the number of obstacles, rapids, and portages. So we'll see what we can do.
Our second portage of the day is done, and we're into Wilkie Lake.
Trails have been great so far, except for that one, which was not that well defined, but still okay. But we're hoping to skip the next ones for the most part and run the rapids down the Flindt River, but really don't know what the rapids are like, so we'll have to scout them all. Coming into the northeast arm of Wilkie, there's a northwest wind, it's cold, and the vibe's a lot different than yesterday, but today's actually a good travel day compared to what the forecast looks like for the next two. Rapids ahead, looks like it's gonna be a bit of a tangle, so we'll scout it. Well, that'd be fine there. And then there's your strainer. That's a no. Too bad. Okay, on to the trail.
Alright, portage it is.
On the plus side, it was getting pretty chilly on the water, so we can warm up here.
Portage to
Some
warm up.
snacks, some mango. We're good. On to Flindt Lake.
Hopefully we don't make any sparks. Got a little swift here to welcome us into the Flindt River, and then there should be a rapid around the corner that we're hoping we can run.
Yeah, there it is. It looks pretty tangly with the trees growing in again. We'll have to scout it. Sadly, it's another completely unrunnable rapid, tons of trees going over it, but easy trail, and we just put our dry suits on, allow us to get our feet wet at portages, and if we do run something today, just slip them right on. Very drab out here today, but we're chugging along and making pretty good progress. Flindt is pretty substantially burnt. This is an old burn, maybe 25 years or so, but a little ahead, probably hit it tomorrow. There's a burn from 2 years ago.
Okay, let's see what we're dealing with.
At the first of that cluster of 4 rapids. This one's definitely runnable, but you can see the flow really does push into the sweeper. You have to make sure you miss it. Yeah, as soon as we get past that hole, just draw us right hard. Hard. Yep. Hard. Yeah. Nice. That was an exciting little run. Swift here, and then the next set. Don't think we'll be running that. Looks pretty tumultuous. So I wouldn't call this one unrunnable, but it's above our pay grade. Just tons of pin hazards, and it's long, difficult to scout at all. So it'll be a portage for us. And for some peanut butter and honey wraps. Late lunch break, some peanut butter and honey wraps, chocolate almonds. It's pretty good.
Darn good.
This one looks a bit promising. It's gonna need a scout though. This helps a lot that the portage runs right beside it. Makes it possible to scout. Well, this one's pretty close, but it's still gonna be a portage. Come down here. There's a rock right there, another one here. You have to really thread the needle there.
And then there's
Yeah, there's a good outflow, but we're not whitewater junkies, you know? It's got to be fun.
Just beginners.
This just seems a bit much. On to our last obstacle for the day. Portage is right there, but hopefully it's gonna be a friendly rapid. Well, it's not a good day on the whitewater front. The flow splits here. That one is a tangle. This one also has sweepers with a boulder right in the middle where there'd be any channel. So on to the portage, which is actually marked here. Last one of the day. Well, the bottom of this was exactly what we'd hoped for. Beautiful, exciting, clean run, but around the corner, not possible. Well, we're starting to see patches of the more recent burn, and it's generally looking pretty inhospitable here. But there was supposed to be a campsite on this point, which is unburnt, but there's absolutely nothing. So we'll keep going. It's becoming a pretty long day. Compared to yesterday's dreamland, this place just feels desolate. Not one remotely good place to set up a tent.
The last 6 kilometers probably since that last site we were supposed to be at has been nothing but burn. And then this was our last hope for tonight. And just in the last 100 meters there's a spot that's not burnt and it's at the top of a port and should be campable.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. That was one of the most inhospitable stretches I've ever paddled.
Yeah.
And I've seen plenty of burns. This is paradise. Wow.
Oh yeah.
This feels like the jackpot. Just got some warm clothes, sweaters on, hot meal and tea, and the rain should hold off. Normally I'd set up the tent first and tarp, but set it all up here, and probably the rain's gonna hit tonight. So someone who stayed here recently left some nice splits, much appreciated. We'll use them, replace them, and get our dinner that much faster.
Yeah.
Oh, just the smell of smoke.
Ugh.
Imminent warmth.
So comforting. I had such a chill there.
Yeah, we're getting pretty chilled.
I had a little bit of a shiver.
Fire pit may not seem ideal, but it's my kind of camper. Just a perfect little trench to lay a grill across. So here's where we're at on the overview. Covered about 28 kilometers today, but really more importantly, 8 obstacles. We did 7 ports and ran that one little rapid, so that's excellent. 250 kilometers is pretty reasonable for a 2-week trip. It's really the obstacles that are the yardstick for our progress. So getting 8 done today out of 60 is pretty darn good.
Mosquito!
Freeze-dry meals tonight. Perfect occasion for them.
I've got a Happy Yak pad thai vegetable and peanut that's smelling very good.
Cheesy chicken and broccoli.
And this one has 48 grams of protein, which is good for a veggie one. Ooh.
Hot? It's just starting to mist now too, eh?
Oh boy.
So just as we were relishing in our day, successful day and great campsite, I realized I couldn't find my camera case. It is, I'm certain, at our last portage, which is a good 8 kilometers back, meaning 16 kilometer return tomorrow morning just to start our day. Just gutted. And I'm pretty sure I left it open. I had pulled out my camera to get a shot of the rapid and expected to collect it. And I'm pretty sure I left it wide open with rain coming tonight. There's no way we can get it right now. We're done. Yeah. Anyway.
In the morning.
It is what it is. It's gonna be a I'm gonna be thinking about it all night.
Oh, don't worry. It's part of the trip now.
Yeah.
That's
thanks.
good. We got it in us.
Oh my god.
At least you didn't drop a net.
Aaron's just updating the journal.
It's private.
Say something about divorce.
I said, oh well.
Best wife in the world.
Oh, I just
So sorry.
just as easily could have been me. We both know that.
I'm the dummy. Rainy start to day 3 is expected, and we've got a 16-kilometer, 10-mile warm-up paddle to start our day. It's painful being so dumb. I do have a condition though, it's called NTB, not too bright, and thousands, millions suffer around the world from it, most of them unwittingly. That's the problem, they have no wits. The only known cure is to marry someone who is much more competent and patient than you. But the catch there is that NTB ruins 2 lives instead of 1. Alright, time to hammer this out so we can actually start our day.
We're here.
There it is. You know, that's the real gut punch, is that it was wide open. The camera can take. That's actually lucky that that empty side was where the water was pooling. It can take a little rain on it, but it can't sit in water. So that actually was pretty lucky in a way.
So we paddled back to grab John's camera case. Not only did we forget it, but somehow it got forgotten open. So luckily I think everything's water resistant, but yep, that was definitely a detour. But glad to have retrieved the gear for sure.
That's working fine. Let's get back to camp.
Mission accomplished.
Well, we got a little something for our trouble. There's like some sort of run going on here like I've never seen before in a boreal river. Looks like salmon or steelhead. There are none of those here. But you can see big forked tails sticking out of the water right here. They got to be big lake trout. I think that's the only thing it could be. Big dark lake trout. Haven't had time to wet a line on this trip yet, and I don't even have my tackle with me. Left it at camp. But yeah, it's going to be a priority at some point. Oh, look at these ones here, hon. Back here. Erin's trying to get some underwater footage. Oh, it went right in front of her. Oh wow, I can't wait to see that footage. So Erin's looking at the footage and she thinks they're sturgeon, which is just incredible. I'm pretty sure sturgeon are not open to fish for anyway, but that explains why they're so big and right in the rapids.
We took a look at the footage from underwater, and I'm 90% sure they're sturgeon, which is just incredible. They're such cool fish, and they're just, one literally slapped me in the hand while I was taking one of these videos. This is unreal. Wow.
Sometimes as an angler, I just want to be able to see the fish and interact with this other world. And this is the perfect form of that. I've often wished I could fish with cameras just to see them. What a rare opportunity. Talk about making lemonade out of lemons.
What a reward! That was incredible!
Sturgeon!
Sturgeon!
So cool.
Wow. Didn't even have to put a hook in them to get amazing views of them?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, cool.
Okay, back to camp we go. Oh, it's got to be the stupidest thing I've done since the Palisade River 3 years ago. Forgot a good chunk of my food at home. At least this one we could correct out here. And it went as well as it could have, really. And now we got a low rapid here that's an easy run to start out.
Good day.
Back on track. Took us 15 kilometers in the end to get there and back. All right, we're getting on our way. Conditions have turned pretty nice, actually. Perfect for white water. Let's hope we can do some today. Draw a little, draw. Okay. Now brace. So this one is so borderline. There's a log hanging across there, the one decent line, but even that line does have some tricky pieces. We're just gonna port it. Quite a tangle to try and scout these things. Yeah, in hindsight, probably would have tried to line that down a little bit. That's the portage is a mess. Yeah, for two people who are trying to regain their stride in whitewater after almost nothing for 2 years, that's just a bit tricky. You won't pin a canoe on a portage.
And through 2 more obstructions.
Into a lake-like section of the river, mostly burnt except for that island. Looks like a nice campsite there. Hopefully we can find a good one again tonight. Definitely be in the burn. On to the next one. Oh, this is nice. Easy one to scout. It helps a lot. So we finally found one that we can go for. It's gonna be a challenge. It's a bit technical, but there's a pretty good line.
We can practice for us.
Yep. We gotta start going for them at some point. This one's safe enough. Well, that looks a bit ominous. Oh yeah. Yep. Good. Oh! Okay, back to the left, back to the left. Left, draw. Draw. Okay, a little bit of power here. Little power. Good. We can go left here. Draw, yeah. Yeehaw! Hell yeah, babe. Good job. Okay, draw. Nice. Woo! Good job. Oh, thank goodness. Finally saved one port. Yeah, it's so much better than portaging through a forest fire in the rain. Interesting that someone took the time to put a big cairn there. And I have an old map that says Powerful Rapid here. This one looks doable. Could come down there, but there's a rocky ledge there with not much water over it. And then a long way to go after it. I think it's just above our pay grade again.
Like, we line it?
Maybe. There are some lines, but yeah, it takes more skill than I've got. Yep. That's the portage. We just cleared it. Time to do it. On we go. Draw, draw, draw. This one's actually got a pretty reasonable line right there, but it pushes right into an overhanging cedar, and there's a rock on the other side of that, and the far side is no good, so too much trouble. Well, it's getting on dinner. Aaron's very low on steam, and I'm getting there. So there's a campsite marked on the map between this and the next rapid just ahead, and we're hoping that's going to work out.
Pretty blah. But
yeah,
might have to do for camp tonight.
There's a very rudimentary campsite at the start. We're seeing if we can find anything better here. So the river's been forking in two a lot, which splits the flow. Here it's one, and it is beefy down there. And it's such a long run. Unfortunately for us, without a deck canoe, we'd swamp. So we're at the end of the trail. We could camp here, it's better than the start. But there's an unburnt little island there. Might have to check that out too. Anyway, we'll get this portage done and we'll see. Here it is, Camp 3. Seems pretty good to us right now. We didn't go for this island in the end because it looks like it's just about underwater. So if the water levels go up, that's not good. We got stuff drying. A little bit of mild conditions right now. Tomorrow's gonna be cold, so I want to kill the moisture. And a pretty nice view down here.
The last 2 days have been action-packed, just full, good long days, and by the time we got camp set up here, I'm just out of gas, so I had to lie down, and John brought me some mango slices and a full water bottle, and I'm feeling great.
Erin just went for a quick lie down. I suspect she's asleep. I'm gonna make a hot meal for her to thank her for this morning, being so good about it. Okay, some well-deserved mint tea and penne with Parmesan.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Those were a couple of lads. Long ass days. And tomorrow we are sleeping in for sure. The mosquitoes are starting to come out. There's that 1 week basically after ice out where you don't get too many bugs at all, but they should be building as the trip goes on.
It's been glorious so far. And the cool, it's the bonus of the cool days, it'll keep them down a little.
Well, that was an interesting day. Glad it's over overall. I'm ready for a good sleep. Could be snow or freezing rain tomorrow, so we'll be sleeping in, that's for sure. Some flurries coming down for day 4, and we are sitting tight for now. Probably won't go anywhere until at least after lunch, if at all. This is just not good weather for running rapids. So here's where we ended up. We've got 5 relatively short obstacles to Wabakimi Lake. Looks like a beauty. And onto the second leg of the trip, the Ogoki River system, which starts here, actually. Yesterday brought us into the next section map. There, 2 short obstacles. Then we get into the Ogoki River system out of the Flindt, 3 more short obstacles, and into Wabakimi Lake, and that'll bring us out of the burn too, the most recent one. Coffee time.
Coffee time.
Got a nice breakfast on this snowy morning. Coffee, and this is 12 medium eggs. We're gonna do egg wraps with it with cheese. And maybe a little cabbage and some crispy onions.
Well, that sounds good.
Crispy onions.
I gotta say it, cabbage really elevates meals out here.
Yeah, liking the cabbage.
I'm a cabbage fan. We're gonna go for a little wander. Some interesting stuff in this burn, so we'll go explore a little bit.
So a fair question to ask would be, why would you travel on this river that's burnt and with dubious whitewater opportunities? Well, this is just a connection. This isn't like a centerpiece of the route. The Ogoki should be great, but the Palisade and the Savant on the 3rd and 4th legs are really what this trip's about. So this is a means to an end, but it's already pretty cool.
This section of the river looks like it'd be a lot of fun to run, but without a covered canoe, it'd likely just swamp us.
Yeah, but spray decks have their pros and cons. They're a bit of a hassle on portages and for accessing your gear, but this will be a nice run. This is the first one. It's just like pretty clean. It's long.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Flurries continue to fall, and that could turn to freezing rain, so we're just going to sit put today and make up that distance in future nicer days which are upcoming. And this is a pretty good campsite to be stuck at because it's burnt but it's open, and it's just an interesting landscape to explore. Aaron just declared this a snow day. We don't have to go to whitewater school today.
There's all these spots where the rocks have been upturned when the trees fall because the roots are intertwined in them. And it's pretty cool. It's actually like little grave markers for all the trees.
Yep.
That would be so cool to have back home and to like clean up.
I know, I thought the same. That is
Look how
beautiful.
this is.
Work of art.
Yeah, it is.
So we're getting some nice rest and reading time in here, and I'm reading Canoeing with the Cree. It's the story of a 17 and a 19-year-old paddling 2,200 miles from Minnesota to Hudson Bay. And there's a bizarre coincidence in here. It says, right ahead of us, about 50 feet away, was what looked like a big black log, slowly sinking from sight. Half asleep though I was, I realized that, in general, logs don't have fins and tails that move back and forth. It was a sturgeon, the first either of us had seen. It was at least 6 feet long. Quite a bizarre coincidence to read that. And there's a more general quote that I liked at the start in the foreword. If your mind is an imaginative one, if your heart seeks the unexplored, the setting does not matter. Your life will be an adventure. Well, we had some rehydrated veggie chili for dinner, and now we're in the tent just trying to stay warm. What a chilly day and damp. Got to sleep with the water filter tonight in the sleeping bag so it doesn't freeze because it's going down to -4, but it's supposed to be a sunnier and slightly warmer day tomorrow, so we're eager to get back on the move. Lots of distance to make. Welcome to the back half of May
For me.
in Canada.
That was a cold
Here's
night.
your coffee. Yeah,
I was chilly.
yeah.
Thanks, hon.
Welcome. Oh. When you're surrounded by cold like this, there's few greater pleasures than warmth, especially when it's slipping down your throat. It just sounds bad. When you're surrounded by cold, there are few better feelings than warmth spreading down your throat into your belly. Oh. It's a slow start again here. It's like 9:30 or so, but we're waiting for the sun to come out. I'm gonna get breakfast going in just a minute. Trying to make up my blunder on day 3 to Erin by doing these cold chores and whatnot. But we gotta get going as soon as possible. Falafel this morning. It's made into balls, like meatballs, but this is close enough. Today's breakfast is much like yesterday's, but falafel instead of eggs. No complaints here.
Nor here. Warm breakfast on a snowy morning.
It's chickpea flour, seasoned. Very good.
Mm-mm.
Sun's just breaking through.
Shoot, that's good.
Mm-hmm. It's 10:30 now and the sun is mercifully finally breaking through. Just waiting for it to get a little stronger and then we'll pack up. Our boots are literally still frozen solid, so we'd be battling hypothermia all day if we don't wait. Same as yesterday, so we're gonna give her after that. Well, we're finally feeling the warmth of the sun a little. Between my 15-kilometer blunder and the conditions this morning and yesterday, we've lost 2 days of travel already, so we're well behind schedule. Erin's stomach just started giving her problems. She's not feeling too well, so hopefully things are going to turn around. We'll just do what we can today. So the hope today is to make it from here on the Flindt into Two Lake on the Ogoki River system and take that into Wabakimi Lake and hopefully put a good dent in it. Okay, back on the move, sun shining, and a little speed ramp to start off. In no time we're coming up to the next rapid, and it looks pretty unburnt here, so if we had come a little further, wouldn't have had to spend 2 nights in a burn, but it was actually a pretty cool experience, so all good. Decent start to the rapid.
Yeah.
We'll have a look. Another tough one to scout, but here's the end, which looks nice.
Oh yeah.
Lots of pillow rocks in there and some pin risk, but from here it's certainly runnable.
Yeah.
It is a fairly long run, goes around the corner too. Well, it's a pretty nice looking rapid, tough to turn down, but it's going to be a carry because Erin's feeling woozy. It's fairly long, the rapid, with a reasonably easy trail. So another one we have to sadly decline to dance with. Okay, yeah, straight ahead here. Okay, green light this time. No scout even. Might be a little bump at the bottom. You want to exit to the right here a little? Paddle, paddle. Yep. Yeah. Whoa!
All right.
Yep, you. Unscathed. Took a risk, because there was a nice pool beneath us. You okay?
Yeah.
So there's the problem with an undecked canoe. It just filled up immediately there. Yeah, we just filled up immediately. We needed to get on the side of that standing wave. It was bigger than we thought.
Yeah.
Should have scouted it. Anyway, I twisted my knee in that as well. Things can only get better. Hopefully my knee's alright.
Yeah.
So we're into Two Lake now, taking a break from the headwind. And among the casualties of that dump was the fishing rod. So that's out, but the way bigger concern is my knee. Yeah, I really don't know what that's going to mean for our trip, but we just have to take it 1 hour at a time, and worst case, get a fly out, get a float plane back to Smile Lake, but...
Oh, just a reminder of how vigilant you have to be out here. Like, I was feeling off this morning, and you just, without being 100% in it, you just make silly mistakes. It's hard not to beat yourself up over.
Yeah, it is.
You're not 100%, it has consequences.
Yeah, that filled us in 1 millisecond, and then you're a bathtub going side to side and boop.
Gotta learn your lessons the hard way sometimes.
About 2 o'clock now, we're stopping for some peanut butter and honey wraps. And if there's one thing I wish I could undo in that rapid, it is my knee pain. And it seems like it may have been just a cramp. So if that goes away, I could accept everything else that happened there. So fingers crossed, feeling good right now. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's getting through it together. Partnership. So going down, line is good. If we just exited right there, oh, just filled us.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So I'm feeling pretty fine. How about you?
Doing better. I think the adrenaline of that cleared whatever was ailing me this morning a bit.
Yeah.
And I'm cold though.
Yeah, it is cold.
The sun makes it just bearable, but that wind's got a bite.
Yeah. Time to try and carry on.
Yeah.
Just reached the end of 2 Lake. On to the second leg of the trip, the Ogoki River system. We got a fresh start.
Fresh start.
We seem to have our health.
And weather's only supposed to get better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Supposed to be one more cold night and then hopefully warm up.
Yep. On to the Ogoki.
Woohoo!
Actually, one more short carry into the Ogoki here, and a tree's falling right on the pudding. There we go. Well, I'm not out of the woods yet. Knee is acting up again. It's a bummer. In a first aid bag, we carry a splint and a knee brace. That's gonna go on right now. This is where I'm at right now. Aaron is doing the loads. There's the trail.
It's okay. It's just rooty.
Yeah.
So just watch your feet, but it's not bad otherwise.
Okay, good.
Yeah. You sure I can lean on me to get across if you need?
Yeah, I think I'll be alright. Just taking it slow.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. So there's a campsite in a few kilometers, and hopefully that's going to work out and be out of the burn with any luck. We're on the edge of it now, and then yeah, we've got no carries on Wabakimi Lake, so we'll have some options at least. And once again, Erin has to play hero for her dead husband.
Last load.
She comes with load 4. To Wabakimi Lake. So I passed up fishing a ton of honey holes on the way on the Flindt, thinking, oh, there are tons more to come. Won't get a single cast on this trip. Ice out. Big 2-week trip. Well, we'll see if it's 2 weeks now. But anyway, onward. Let's find camp. Find our way through another headland. Burn continues for several kilometers past where my data indicated, and the campsite we were hoping for is burnt to a crisp. It's like matchsticks, so it wasn't a good option. And in the distance we can see the end of the burn, probably 2 more kilometers, and we're determined to get there for a bit of cheer.
As we've rounded this point, we're finally able to get a glimpse of the end of the burn, which is just a really big relief after such a tough day with so many challenges. To get a win is pretty good.
Yep. Sun's getting low. It's at least 7:30 now.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one. Got a really cool looking spot here.
Yeah.
Aaron's out of gas. Straight up this way.
Sorry?
Straight up this way. Let's get the clothes on first and warm up.
Yeah.
Well, we're in the sunshine, out of the wind, and pretty raw, but a fire going, and a pristine, beautiful spot on Wabakimi Lake. Could be worse. Aaron had a real bad chill there. Try tea and dinner at last. It's about 9 o'clock.
Well, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if I was gonna make it today. Not one for complaining, but it was a hard day.
That was a lad.
Yeah, that was a lad. But we're here.
Well, that's it here for day 5. Hard to believe it's only day 5 and that was only one day. Anyway, we're hitting the hay. My knee is seized but not really in pain. So let's hope that's good news and maybe it'll release overnight. Another frosty morning for day 6, getting breakfast going here. My knee felt tight overnight, but maybe best case scenario, there's soreness in the calf muscle. So maybe that was just seizing up and like pulling on the tendon here. Anyway, we've got a 20-kilometer paddle across Wabakimi Lake, so we can at least do that with no risk and evaluate from there. My knee has unfortunately become a recurring theme on trips, and believe me, it's the last thing I want to talk about, but it factors into our plans and decision making significantly, and it's become part of the trip sometimes. We might as well just take it day to day, and I want this trip. I want to finish it so badly. Dream about this trip all winter, and yeah, I really hope we can still do it. How are you holding up this morning?
I'm cold.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm doing okay, but I gotta chill.
Yeah. Big hearty burrito bowl this morning. The secret ingredient. Cabbage.
Bring the ice scraper.
So 20 kilometers across Wabakimi. Then there's a 770, and then 3 ports that are all about 300 meters.
Okay.
So I think ideal scenario is test out that 770 today.
Yeah, I mean, I'll follow your lead based on your knee.
Yeah. Back on our way. Coming into the main lake now, and we are going to do a tour here along the north shore through some islands, and hopefully do one of those portages after it. Just finished the island chain at the top of the lake and stopping for a quick break here. There are forest fires around, but it shouldn't be as thorough as that last one on the Flindt. Yeah. It was nice to have an uneventful morning here. No snow, no illness, no injury, no dumps. Just good clean paddling.
It's a snooze fest.
We are through the main body of Wabakimi Lake, heading northeast now into River Bay and the Ogoki River. A little outpost camp here. This is a beauty. Some of them are pretty run down. That is cozy. No one here though, boats are still up. The green of the boreal forest with a blue sky backdrop. It's got to be one of the most pleasing color combinations there is. Getting close here. Okay, here we go. Back to the Ogoki and portage test. Excellent trail. Wow. And a beautiful rapid. This is a nice one to run. If we're being smart, we should really test my leg while we have the opportunity to just go back to Wabakimi Lake for a float plane pickup if need be. So, another dance declined, but what a beautiful rapid. As a consolation prize, these are some of the nicest woods we've carried through all trip. Just look at the lichen growing on those old trees. Oh, it's refreshing after the burns. Passing the first load, stagger point, all is well. Labrador tea, thick moss. You gotta love this. Success! The knee held up through that, and I won't be kneeling if we run any more rapids. That was what triggered it, but hopefully that's the last time I have to talk about the knee. And we are going to keep going.
Where's the fishy?
Actually gets a little bony at the end. Makes me feel a little better. So the next 3 rapids are shorter, so we're scouting them, hoping to skip some trails. Some of them are tough to scout. Have a look at that. That'll save us a trail.
That's what we've been waiting for.
Looks like we got a nice, really nice clean run here. Okay, we want to stay away from these sweepers, so keep us to the right. And this time we're not going to plunge into the standing waves, which aren't as big this time. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, that'll hurt, that'll hurt. Yeah. There we go. Yeehaw! That's more like it. We don't give up. We don't give up. 2 more to go to Kanoji Lake. Obi-Wan Kanoji. Oh yeah, this makes up so much time for us. Running this one on the fly, it looks pretty good. Yeah. Get to the left. Good. Just ride these nice and slow so they don't swamp us. Brace, yeah. Okay, paddle hard, get to the right. That's okay. It's a weird eddy. It's like floating there. It's a pretty clear outlet here. Barely a splash in the boat. Good job, hon. What a mood swing from yesterday. And for the cherry on top today, the river dropped us into Kanoji Lake, where there are a few campsites to choose from. And this is quite a beauty. Just got the tent up, and we've got some celebratory electrolyte mix tablets in there.
We earned that.
For dinner tonight, we've got a broccoli noodle side dish with tons of extra dehydrated broccoli. Since it comes with about 3 flakes of what may or may not be broccoli.
And my core temperature finally feels back to normal. It's a huge relief after a couple days.
So here's the latest. Covered a good amount of distance today down the Ogoki, which continues out this way. but we're heading this way into the third leg of the trip, the Palisade. Well, we're thoroughly gassed yet again, settling in for the night. Another solid day on the way tomorrow. Day 7 here on Kanoji Lake. Important coffee with this cold northeast wind, which has blown every day. It's been a headwind, worst possible wind direction every day. But today we head east on the third leg of the trip, and we should get to use it. It's going to be a joy. Egg wraps again this morning. Third last portion of cabbage probably.
Oh, sad face.
The Cabbage Patch Kids.
Cabbage Patch Cumpers.
Almost ready to go here. When we set up and pack up, I do most of the food barrel and food prep stuff, and Aaron does the tent. It's just nice to divide it and each have your own lanes to stay in. Away we go.
Here we go.
Well, it's a pleasure doing business with the wind today. We're flying across Obi-Wan Kanoji. We're through Kanoji and starting up the Palisade River. Probably the most anticipated part of the trip, along with the Savant River. It's only getting better from here. So after a tough start to this trip and no wildlife sightings so far, Aaron's come up with a little chant.
I'm going on strike. Enough strife, more wildlife. Enough strife, more wildlife.
There's another outpost camp here, and it seems to have no one there, and a juvenile eagle. Another cozy little fly-in outpost camp. Someone must be there. There's a boat or two in the water, actually. Well, the bay tightens up here and starts to resemble a river. So now that we're going upstream, a beautiful speed ramp like this is going to mean a bit of wading or lining. But no big deal. We're at the next little rapid, and this one's wadable. If there's an easy place to walk along the shoreline, we'd rather just wade it and grab onto the canoe. But in that last one, where there's no good footing in the water, then we use the lines to track upstream. And we're going to alternate here. Aaron's going to take the first shift, since I took the early morning cook shift.
Thanks, bud.
She's going to haul us up. So I'd rather there were some pictographs in this area. Hopefully we can spot them. Always fun to see those rock paintings, and just a beautiful start here on the Palisade River, which is burnt. Hopefully we'll get out of that. This is obviously an older burn. The regrowth trees are probably 10 years old or so. Trying to clear out some space to line this one. I'm just giving slack. Yep. Well, we've gotten by a number of rapids so far and swifts. This one's going to be a carry. Easy trail. This wind is pretty stiff when we're going into it. Carrying the trails isn't so bad. You got put-ins like this. That is gorgeous. So we just finished that carry there, and there are a couple of changes to the route today. We're scratching this detour. That was the hope to camp there for night 5 or worst case scenario 6. So that's out. And we're gonna carry up here, and then there's another change there. We'll get to that in a bit. That is some gorgeous rock. Aaron has a theory that that was part of this cliff. Fell off. Pretty certain that her theory is correct. That would have been a sight to see. Time for the daily peanut butter and honey and chocolate wrap break. Overdue. It's close to 3 o'clock now. And it's such a privilege to be feeling warm today after 5 straight days feeling cold. 30-degree day on day 1. Oh, feels good. Wind is gnarly out there. Thankfully we're going with it now. Again, on to the next carry. Ah, nice campsite.
Yeah, it is.
Really nice.
Hard to be passed up.
Yeah. This is the second last carry of our day, and we didn't realize it would be so scenic. Beautiful. This one's a 5-meter portage, and it looks like we'll be able to skip it. Watch your eyeballs. Yes!
Yeah.
Woohoo! That's nice at the end of a big day.
Especially because I thought it was a 500-meter portage.
Yeah, I said it was a 5, and she thought I meant 500. This island might be home for the night. It's the last marked campsite for a bit. Next rapid is ahead there. And there's a pretty cool sight right here on this island. It's got some charm. It's supper time. Yep, just the site we needed. Good fire pit there with like a little stone bench. And a good spot for the tent up there. Aaron's getting that up and getting dinner going. A little white noise from the rapid in the distance. And the fire pit is perfect for our grill, for our stove. So just gonna cook on that.
Those are swans.
Oh, there's swans.
Oh, I thought that was the table.
Oh, well, you can sit on it or eat off of it, whatever you prefer. It's our table.
Okay.
Simple dinner tonight, mac and cheese.
Comfort food.
Mm-hmm. So here's where we ended up for day 7. Skipped this little detour as I mentioned, and we're also skipping this detour into Webster Creek. I added this to the route at home when I thought we'd have ample time, but things have obviously changed. So we cut off a little distance there, but our penance is a 1 kilometer portage here and an 800 here to get to this area. So a couple long ones, but shaves off a little time. Height of land crossing there as well. What a great day here. All went well. We were warm enough and put in 30 kilometers and 7 obstacles and some swifts that we just paddled right up. That was much needed. Call this the Loch Ness campsite. Starting out day 8 with another instant coffee. A lot of people don't think it's any good, but times have changed over the last 10 or 20 years. It's delicious now. Tons of songbirds here, spring peepers, ducks, and the rapids roaring over there. And a little warmer. Just a little skimming of ice on our boots this morning instead of them being frozen solid. So, this is joyful. Would you like cabbage with your breakfast falafel this morning, sir? Why, yes, I think that goes without saying. That's a northern water thrush there, that call. One of the most common ones we've heard on the trip. Also had white-throated sparrows, a lot on this campsite, and a rusty blackbird, among others. And this has been our favorite campsite so far. It's just so livable. Having this little table and chair here, beautiful view, it's nice and open. Yeah.
Shelter from the wind.
Yeah. A bit sad to leave it.
Yeah.
We're heading that way. Taking off from camp, which is an island. Don't know if we mentioned that. There's a little channel on the right and on the left. Here we go. And there goes Nessie. Yeah, it's doable.
Yeah, if I can pop out from right here, I can pull it up.
Are you hoping to paddle up?
I was hoping to be able to hop out somewhere, but now it's
No, I don't think so. Let's go off here.
yeah, if I can just hop out here.
Okay. I think that's it, eh?
I think so.
Heading back for the second load. We double carry every trail, and one golden rule of portaging is to never block the put in and take out with your canoe and gear. So we always keep it off to the side while we're going across with the first load. Even on a route like this that isn't well traveled, you never know when someone's going to come along. So we just cleared the first 3 obstacles of the day, and we are now into Burnt Rock Lake. We got about a 7-kilometer paddle across it into Muskega Creek here. It's the 8th straight day of an easterly wind, and today we are loving it. We just sped across Burnt Rock Lake, And there's an incredible campsite here, so picturesque. Really wish we could stop, but we gotta keep going. Nice bit of rock over the creek, Muskega Creek, and nice wetland back there. I'm sure we're in for some muskeg to come with a name like that. We got 4 short carries here on Muskega Creek. Different landscape in here. I'm loving it. I've been missing the wetlands.
Over here.
It's just a nameless little pond in here along the creek, but it is so peaceful. It's one of those places you feel like you could stay and live forever. It's probably not that deep, but yeah, it's just so charming. Last one on the creek.
All right, finished our portages for the day and coming into Muskega Lake and hoping to find camp here.
Oh, look at what we got.
Found a beauty for tonight. Thought last night's was best sight of the trip, but we have just been dethroned.
Nice bench. Doesn't seem heavily used though, based on the lichen. Lichen gets squished down pretty fast. Just a gem. Sunset view down these islands. Welcome home. Wind is still gusting out there, but it's a beautiful day. And we're all set up here now. Canoe is well out of the water. Rinsed a couple of shirts there. Drying out our boots. They might actually get dry tonight for once. Water filtering. Fire ready to light. And Erin is tuckered out. She's going down for a nap. Beautiful evening here, and here is where we landed for night number 8. And on the section map, we're on the next one now. Tomorrow we've got that big 1 kilometer port, 800 meters after that, and this is roughly the Albany and Ogoki height of land. So everything over here flows to the Albany, and everything over here flows to the Ogoki. Couple of massive rivers. We're heading down this way up the Savant River. Well, it's been a beautiful evening here for day 8. We're wrapping it up. Got another big one tomorrow. Packing up camp here. It's a cold morning again, and it was a bit of a rough sleep.
Rough night. We had some trumpeter swans for neighbors, and they were living up to their name, hooting and hollering.
Middle of the night, they were just honking like crazy.
Honking away.
They're pretty loud.
Pretty tired this morning. Was hoping to catch up, but oh well.
No. We're heading down that way toward the 1 kilometer carry, and then a couple after that, including an 800. So the cold weather's not the worst thing.
So we've spotted the party animals that kept us up last night. Apparently swans don't need sleep.
So Muskega is a surprisingly beautiful lake. Didn't have high hopes for it, but it's one of our favorites along with Smile Lake at the start. And there's a north wind today with 9 degrees Celsius as the high, so it'd be nice to be staying warm on the trails, really. Coming up to the first one. See anything? At the start of the 1,000-meter trail, and I get the feeling that not a lot of people want to do this because the campsite was the only established campsite that we saw in Muskega, and the lichens were very undisturbed on the ground. The firewood beside the fire was rotten, so yeah, it's pretty pristine here. That's crazy. I was just talking about this recently. Mylar balloons.
The worst.
Air litter. We were a long way from any community.
I'll take that home and throw it out. Say Cindy something too. Oh, Cindy. I don't love
Thanks a lot, Cindy. When we dumped and lost the fishing rod, the worst part was leaving something behind. I really hate doing that, so we've been trying to pick up garbage along the way. Our penance. A 1,000 meters isn't crazy long or anything, but it's plenty. And it could be sweltering hot and we'd be sweating thousands of mosquitoes and black flies. But thanks to the cold, we've got neither of those factors. So it's paying dividends right now. Trail's in pretty good shape. Haven't had to break many branches or even use a saw yet. That's one down. Feels like that should be cause for celebration, but we've got a 240 and then an 800 to go, so we'll celebrate on the other side. Small.
Another kilometer of portage.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's a super shallow pond, and the bottom smells like farts. Lots of sulfur down there, I guess. Beautiful otherwise. Here's the next one. Pulling up on this floating bog mat. This is the kind of portage you expect with a name like Muskega.
Yeah. Maybe some paw prints.
Yeah. Some people, this sort of landscape might be ugly. I find it so beautiful. Into Timon Lake.
Today's one of the tougher days. We've got the long boards, but not only that, I think just kind of started to wear down on us a bit. The poor sleep and being cold, and then just concerns about John's knee, but if we get through this next portage, then we're in pretty good shape. So it's a tougher one, but it'll be worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the double carry, the catches, every kilometer of carrying becomes 3, but we still prefer it. Eagle up in its nest there. There it goes. Must have young in there because eagles rarely do this. They usually buzz off. The mighty squeak of the eagle. Wow. It's like foaming. Oh man. I don't know if you can see those 2 lines there, but we just heard coming out of the bush. Erin like screamed.
And then fell in here.
She fell over. There was a couple of otters. But they were pretty freaky, barreling out of the bush there.
Popping up.
Oh yeah.
Sorry guys.
Oh.
Yeah, that was spooky.
Okay, moving on from Timon Lake. This one's a bit ugly looking. Lots of alder, but not too difficult. Well, the wind is up here on Davies, but we'll be turning with it soon. Just got some water filtering there and just about a third of a load left. Almost there. After hammering out 2 kilometers of trail this morning, celebratory peanut butter and honey wraps and an electrolyte tablet. So we're across the height of land now into the Albany system, and I think we'll be feeling a bit more celebratory once we get camp set up tonight and we're nice and warm. Yeah, that wind is fresh. It's time to get out there.
Let's do it.
Oh, we're going with the wind now. Oh, it's over there. Okay. After a little confusion, we found the trail again, but we are now outside Wabakimi and no more park maintenance ahead. One more down into Takeoff Lake. So Takeoff's a nice big long lake, but we're heading down this way. There's a campsite over there, but it's 4 kilometers each way out of the way. So I think we're going to carry down this creek and hope something turns up. The creek ahead seems a bit dubious, so we had to check this out. No? Okay. So that's a no, so we're carrying on to the creek. One more possibility here. If we get into the creek, the day might get pretty long. No! On we go. The back of the bay. Here's where this unnamed creek, we're calling it Redmond Creek, comes out, and the trail seems somewhat used, surprisingly. It's good to see. Just as good as the trail in the park so far. Pretty nice. I see a wetland. I like my wetlands. At the end of the trail, and now that we're outside the park, got the benefit of some aerial scouting.
The trail was pretty good, and now we're gonna head up the creek. It looked all right from the air, so hopefully we can make our way along and find somewhere not too bad to lay our heads tonight.
It's a little too shallow here. Hold out the heavy packs and just drag over the grass. This is the thing with creeks. They lure you in and then they turn into nothing. Back in the water again. Oh. Do you want to just walk along here? Although it gets pretty tangly here. So we're gonna take a load through. We're close to the end of this creek section. And then hopefully find a decent way to get the canoe through as well. Oh, you okay? The footing is just terrible in the creek. It's slippery rocks or like really sinky mud. Do you want to lift?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Okay.
I got it, okay.
Job.
Smells good down there.
Back for the second load. Aaron's gonna take the third pack on river left, and I'm just gonna wade the empty canoe up the stream and lift it over stuff. Just
too heavy to do this with all the packs in there. Okay, let's hope to find camp. So there's a pond here before Redmond Lake, and we'll take anything if we can get it. Bit of hope for a campsite down there with some rock, but we're gonna try the creek, the next little section into Redmond. Good start.
You run us in.
Yeah.
You always do.
Oh,
Yeah.
get close.
Close. See the opening.
Okay, we got a much needed wind there and got through pretty much unscathed in that second section. But we are well into lad territory, so we need to find a good site. Some terns welcoming us to the lake. Angrily. There's an island ahead. It's got our hopes real high. All we need is one flat spot and this island will be an oasis. Oh yeah.
There it
Look at that tent pad. How is this? I don't see it.
Old
Oh,
fire pit.
okay, there you go. Figured there had to be. Oh wow. Yet again, an amazing campsite turns up just when we need it.
I mean, could have used it a couple hours ago, but,
Yeah, that's true.
but I'll take it.
All set up here. Feels so good to have warm, dry clothes on. Fire pit, not a good idea with wind blowing it right into all this dry lichen. Canoes up, away from the water, and a cozy little windbreak with fire and hot water on the way for tea, and freeze dried tonight for sure. Chicken coconut curry rehydrating for me, and for Aaron some more pad thai. So there's where we ended up for day 9. And now that brings us into the 4th leg, the longest one, the Savant River. Alright, that's a wrap on another very productive day out here. Aaron's already conked out in the tent, and tomorrow we head for the Savant River. Day 10 here on Redmond Lake in the Canadian wilds. Making up the last of the dried egg rations, and that means it's the last meal that it's remotely appropriate to shower with red cabbage. We just don't know what we're going to do after that for sustenance in this raw environment. We'll have to get by.
Thank you, honey.
Welcome. We both had a really deep sleep, feeling pretty raw this morning after yesterday. And when you set up a tent and you're like, that looks pretty flat. We had some pretty serious hummocks under us last night, but we kind of slept around them.
Yeah.
And we slept.
Bye, Cabby.
Time to say goodbye to Cabby.
You've been good to us.
Yeah. And this is the first head of cabbage we've ever bought, either of us, right?
I think so.
Let me get in on that. Goodbye, buddy. About to get on our way with some blue sky breaking through. And despite the portaging we got done yesterday, the rub is we still have likely another 800 meter there. The only possibility is that one map shows a 441 over to this little bit of water there leading into Velos Lake. So we'll explore that and see if we can find it.
Redmond's turned out to be a beautiful lake. There are 4 or 5 really nice rock campsites here, and we're coming up to the end of the lake, which means portage time. So one map shows a 441 alternative going over this way, more directly toward Velos, the next lake, as opposed to the 800 down there. So we're just having a look to see if we can find anything.
Found some bog cranberries.
Yeah, we think so. But we've never really foraged them before, so we're not going to risk diarrhea or worse.
Too late.
Okay. They're pretty tasty though, I think they are.
Mm-hmm.
So from the air I could see some trails here, but there are always game trails along wetlands. If we see a cut log or anything, then we'll know. It's easy through the wetland here, but we'll see when we get to the woods. Exhibit 1. This was a trail at some point for sure.
Promising.
Yeah, lost it for a second there, but found it again. Moss is growing well on the trail, so it's definitely not well used. So we're almost through, and it's about 600 meters, so it doesn't ultimately shave off that much, but it's in pretty good shape, and the canoe's already here, so we're gonna use it.
Just realized that my nails have gotten pretty long out here. Could really use a trim.
Dried up pitcher plant. Back to the canoe up there, and once we're done this one, our longest remaining carry will be 420 meters, and the majority of them are 200 or less. That feels good. Here we are. Stop for a little mango break before we start the next load. Tracked it on my phone, and that was 810 meters, so literally saved nothing. But we're across.
There she is!
How do you feel?
Happy to have that behind us.
Yeah.
That's nice. A little sore.
Yeah. So oddly enough, our trail really parallels the other one there. Maybe that was it. Who knows? So that brings us not into Velos Lake, but over to here on the Little Savant River. And then we've got a short port there into Velos and the Savant River system. So we can't see any sign of the portage, so we're gonna try and sneak our way down the river. Let's cut directly to the right here. Hard, hard, hard. Okay, sweet. Looks clear around the corner. Maybe we'll get lucky here.
Center?
That'd be a lovely treat. Yeah. Well, we weren't sure if we felt like getting into any whitewater, and there wasn't any. Just some little swifts. We almost did a bushwhack portage to not deal with it. That was straightforward as could be. Velos Lake was looking a bit drab in this weather. There's some showers around, but they're missing us so far. And we are about to hit the Savant River. First little rapid is right ahead. Got Savant Falls coming up after that. Lift a little here. Easy peasy. We were just looking at the shoreline, and then suddenly I looked down, and whoa, what's that down there? Savant Falls, it looks huge. I've only been 2 places on the trip so far where I really wished I had my tackle. This is one of them. The other is the waterfall on the Palisade River. Fish should be stacked up here, not too much fishing pressure, I imagine. Yeah, wish I could give that a cast.
short trail around the falls. No maintenance anymore. Aaron's gonna do this one, and I'll do one we just passed. So I think the 6th installment of peanut butter and honey and chocolate wraps. Never really get too tired of them. And then we're on our way. Pretty cool start to the Savant. It's actually just after 4 now, so we'll be looking for camp pretty soon. Site here with the Grey Jay. You want to have a look?
Yeah. You?
Sure. If there's a decent tent pad. Well, we decided to carry on. We're really liking the look of the Savant River so far. We're going to paddle on, go up one more rapid, and then there should be a decent campsite ahead of that. At least there's one marked on the map.
You want me to hop on here?
Yep, just watch that bow doesn't get caught.
Yeah.
Deeper than you thought?
Yep.
Where am I? So we decided to carry on. It's just a beautiful paddling day and calm for one of the first times on the trip. So we just carried up another set of rapids, and there should be a campsite around the corner here. So we just stopped for the day. We held out after that last pretty good sight, and we're feeling pretty good about that because this is a beauty. The sun has come out, blue skies, and the vibes are just fantastic here on the Savant River. Aaron's clearing out this tree that's fallen over. That'll be our firewood for the night. It's blocking the access. But great tent pad in there, fire pit, whole 9. Here we are for night 10. Aaron's just getting the pads inflated. Cleaned the place up a bit, there's some down trees. Cleaned up the fire pit and had to take mercy on a little spruce that was growing in there. Didn't have the heart to kill it, so gave it a fighting chance in a new home. Aaron cleaned up some of these guys. Yeah, it's a beauty. Got a fire ready to light here. This is another example of a great fire pit. An ideal one just has 2 on each side, equal height, and then 1 tall one on the back, chimney stone. You can see the way the chimney stone is just sending those flames up. I added this one here just to make it possible to get the grill across. So here's where we are for night 10. Still got about 35-kilometer paddle on Savant Lake alone, not to mention the rest of Savant River, and then a connection down here.
What a perfect evening. It's evenings like this that make all the struggle and strife worth it.
Absolutely. What a morning here on the Savant River. Ringneck duck hollering over there, and it is calm. Every morning has been pretty windy, which has made it a little too fresh, but just lounging in it this morning. So today we'll be continuing upriver on the Savant, and the next big variable is Savant Lake. We gotta really hope we don't get a big south wind because we got 35 kilometers to cover there, and we've got 3 duos of carries here into Jabaz Lake, and then one more will bring us into Savant Lake. And we can see on day 5, this is where things went wrong. That was the dump there and the knee, but we've made it. Don't forget to check your dry suit in the morning. Had some penne with rehydrated tomato sauce, and we are back on our way. Glorious conditions. Terrific bird life here on the Savant. Tree swallow and a couple of swans here again. We're at the first rapid of the day. It's a 420 meter carry, but we're going to wade it again. Rapids are pretty tame on the Savant, which is surprising for the size of the Savant Lake, but I guess it's just the gradient. It's a pretty shallow slope. At the next short carry, and it's entirely wadeable again. We're just thrilled. Into the next section here. Pretty nice tranquil campsite there. Oh, the Savant continues to be a joy to travel upriver. Easy wading. Just kept on wading up to the next one. We're 4 for 4 on wading rapids today, 2 at each of those spots, and we're coming through here now. There's a gorgeous campsite overlooking this little swift. Oh, it's just peaceful as anything. This rapid was another easy wade. The first one will have the portage, number 6. Doing pretty well today. Easy trail, and we're now into Jabaz Lake. Taking a quick break here, getting close to Savant Lake. Almost there. That was a little bonus swift. Final obstacle ahead. So the trail was just marked on the map in the wrong place. That was the last obstacle into Savant Lake. Now we got 35 kilometers unobstructed. Really nice change. Well, finally encountered a bit of wildlife. Pretty big guy. Took till day 11, but finally got a big mammal on this trip. There's a fire pit up there. We're gonna have a look, see if it's camp for the night 11. Oh, it's a bit steep and inconvenient to access. Oh, you okay? That's a pretty cool view. It's a good tent pad. What do you think?
I like it.
Got broccoli noodles on the way here, and that was one of the easiest days for travel. We had 7 obstacles and we waited all but one of them. And that was much needed because we are fairly worn down, to be honest. Looking forward to a long paddle with no rapids or portages on Savant Lake tomorrow. So here we are for night 11, perched atop the biggest lake of the trip. Coming into the trip, we thought going upriver against the current on the Savant would be the toughest part. Ended up being the easiest travel of all 4 legs. And in canoeing with the Cree, there was a quote about going upriver. It said, "It was sometimes hard to get up again and out into the hot sun for more paddling against the current. But as Walt put it, can you think of any work you would rather do?" We couldn't. All squared away here for the night. Ready for a good sleep under this mature boreal forest. We've got just a few mosquitoes and black flies coming out now. Early in the trip we were fretting the weather, wishing it was warmer, but that cold snap has completely held off the bugs. There should be hundreds if not thousands around us right now, so
It's been
worked out.
appreciated on the portages for sure.
Yeah, the portages were nice and cool and no bugs, so sometimes things work out. Just sank into bed. It's feeling really soft and comfy tonight. Quite a view for the morning of day 12. The Trumpeter Swans were playing the alarm clock game in the middle of the night last night. I've got a good coffee, the last of the cheese rations, just going into some rehydrated chili, and then we're paddling on Savant Lake. So I'm using this mineral sunscreen on this trip because regular sunscreen makes my eyes water for hours, and it really casts like a whiteness over the face, over the skin. So if we look ghostly, that's why. Alright, we're all packed up here. Gorgeous conditions today to paddle this big lake.
Portage free day.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. Alright, Savant Lake, let's see what you got.
Oh my goodness, there's a huge spider here. Can we go put it on a rock?
Yeah.
A lot of spideys at this site. Onto the rock. Onto the rock. There you go.
Well, Savant Lake is a real beauty. It's massive, full of islands and bays, up to 175 feet deep, and we're just getting through the north arm of it, heading into the main body of the lake. We're about halfway down Savant now with a light headwind, but on a lake this big, that's a pretty good deal. Running into a random bit of white pine here, just as we come up to Pine Island, fittingly. Getting in a good stretch here, about 25 clicks in. 10 to go to the end of the lake. We hope to set up camp unless we see something really good beforehand. Nice crystal clear water here on Savant Lake.
couldn't have asked for better conditions. Coming across Savant Lake is just stunning. Sometimes there's a light headwind, but for the most part it's been just glassy calm, and it's been just a beautiful way to spend the day with no portages and relaxing paddling.
There have been isolated showers all around us today, but we just keep having perfect conditions. And we're in the final 4 kilometers or so. Should be about an hour till camp. Possibly the last camp of the trip. Well, we finally made it to the southeast end of Savant, and we were hoping to camp here. There were a couple campsites marked, but didn't care for them. So there's a pylon there, so I'm guessing it's going to be a pretty good trail, which is good news. Well, it looks like our no portage day is going to have one, eh?
Looks like it.
That's alright.
Still the fewest amount of ports we've done in a day, with
Yeah.
the exception of our rest day.
So I wasn't sure about the state of these portages, and this one is just clear as anything. Obviously the lodges on Savant Lake are keeping it maintained for their guests.
Alright.
Into Pride Lake now, and there is a campsite marked at the top of it, but it's pretty out of our way. So we might just do the next port too, into Silver Lake. Well, the shorelines here are a thick tangle, absolutely no camping opportunities on our path. This is the next trail ahead. We can see some cut logs there. Hopefully it's in decent shape. Hard to believe this is our last load. That's it. That should be the last carry. Now we're just racing sunset to find a decent camp. Hopefully something good. We're really hoping for a good final campsite, but it just hasn't turned up. Loon's calling. Should be a campsite up there. There's some rain falling too. Let's see what we got. Very faint rainbow shaping up there under the rain. Aaron spotted a fire pit in there somewhere, so I guess this is it. Not exactly what we were hoping for our final night. It's cozy in here, but tent pads are not good. Alright, we're gonna try our luck and see if we can find the bush site. Spotted another fire pit. If there's a tent pad, this is going to be it. Tent pad options were very poor at the last one. I'm checking one more spot. We might have to take it. Not tent friendly. Back to the previous option. It's going to be home for night number 12. The fire pit's weird. I don't even see any ashes in it. It just looks like broken up rock. And the fire pit is like a pretty decent slope over there, but we'll level it out with our life jackets and whatnot. Well, it may not have been the campsite that we hoped for, but it's got a stellar view and it's a gorgeous evening. We worked together to get it done. All's well.
So with our 35-kilometer paddle on Savant Lake today, that was our longest day. And then we turned our noses up at the campsites at the end of the lake, which resulted in an even longer day. But it just didn't feel right to end the trip when on a subpar campsite when we've had so many amazing ones. So I'm really happy that we pushed on a little bit more and found this really nice site with a really great view for the evening.
Yeah, it's not a perfect site, but it's
beautiful.
It's raw. Like the trip itself, yeah.
So
It's not all sunshine and rainbows. Well, it was a rainbow.
it was lots of sunshine today. But yeah, it was definitely worth it to get the trip. Deserved a good finale.
Yeah, and with the tent up and mint tea and dinner on the way.
Feels okay.
Yeah, it's all good. Cherry on top. That's my favorite bird call, Swainson's thrush. Normally they're all over at this time of year,
but with the cold temps, maybe they were delayed. It's just beautiful. Heavenly. Wow, that's gorgeous. Well, that's it for day 12. I'm gonna crawl into bed and we'll soak up one more sunrise tomorrow. Dreary start to day 13 here, but peaceful with all the birds and a little fire. And we are on Silver Lake. I'll give you a look here. So we came all the way down the lake and across a couple of short trails here into Silver. And that is not the route that was printed on this map, but I changed it after printing it. I realized if we just did this one, the forestry access road comes through here, same one we used to access Smy Lake. And if we just walk down that 5 kilometers to the car, drive the car back to our load here, that'll save us some extra carrying. I've had plenty of that. Mac and cheese for our final meal of the trip. We've got some much anticipated treats waiting for us in the car. Home stretch. Just about at the end of the lake. This is it. Final section into Virginian Creek.
The final creek.
The road should be just up ahead there.
We are here.
5 kilometer walk, and we got some treats. What we have here?
Gold.
Okay, we've really been looking forward to this and this. After you, it's cold.
Oh, it's so
beautifully
cold. Oh my goodness.
Yes. Oh.
Oh my.
You need some grease at the end of a trip. Car's loaded up, ready to go.
That's a wrap.
Let's do it. Let's go to a diner. Here.
Love you.
Some of the access road burnt.
This was not burnt when we came in.